I'm lucky to have Zaya as my bonus daughter. You know, I did not birth her, but I've never felt more connected to anyone, and I've never felt more of a purpose as one of the adults in her village that is standing 10 toes down, sometimes behind her, sometimes beside her, and sometimes in front of her leading. But no, I'm honored to love her.
I guess it's just to value myself. I think as I'm doing multiple things and I'm juggling a bunch of things, I think just taking pride in what I do and valuing who I am and who I've become, and really appreciating those who've gotten me to where I am.
You believe that isn't how you want to run your family. I have no choice but to respect that. But don't pretend as if it isn't an unpopular sentiment to it.
Looks like another day where the rumors just won't go away. For years, people online have been claiming that Zaya may not feel completely comfortable with how public her journey became, and that she was pushed into a spotlight far bigger than she ever expected. Some critics have even argued that she became a major part of the family's public image, while others insist those claims are unfair and based only on speculation. Now, according to alleged insider chatter, some people are questioning the picture that has been presented to the public for years. These claims suggest the household may be far more focused on image management and media strategy than many fans realized. Critics say Zaya could be feeling overwhelmed by the constant attention, though none of these claims have been independently confirmed. When Zaya first shared her identity with Dwyane Wade and Gabrielle Union at age 12, Gabrielle openly spoke about wanting to learn as much as possible. She said she wasn't sure how to navigate the situation at first and immediately started reaching out for guidance. According to Gabrielle, she contacted members of the cast of Pose, spoke with mental health professionals, and connected with various support resources so she could better understand how to support Zaya in the best way possible. But what if the story behind all the public appearances, speeches, advocacy work, and media projects is a lot more complicated than it seems? Some commentators have argued that the Wade Union family's approach to these topics has also brought significant positive publicity and attention over the years. Supporters see it as genuine advocacy, while critics believe there may be a strong image-building element involved as well. According to ongoing online discussions, some people feel the family has positioned itself as a symbol of a modern, progressive household. Critics claim that this public image has helped strengthen their brand and expand opportunities across different projects and partnerships. These views remain opinions and speculation, but they continue to generate plenty of conversation. Meanwhile, some observers have been closely analyzing Zaya's past interviews and social media posts, searching for signs of how she really feels about living such a public life. Certain commenters believe there are hints that the constant attention can be exhausting. The theory making the rounds is that balancing personal identity with a highly visible public image may come with pressure, leaving some wondering whether she would prefer a more private path away from the spotlight. Some people point to the legal dispute involving Zaya's biological mother as one reason these debates became so intense. In court filings, she raised concerns about the timing of certain decisions and questioned whether moving forward with legal changes at that stage was the right choice. Those claims attracted major attention and sparked a wave of public discussion, though they represented one side of an ongoing disagreement.
Trans people are being targeted, terrorized, and hunted in this country. Every day, everywhere, and there's rarely a whisper about it. We honestly don't approach this work as activists or leaders as much as we do this as parents. Parents who love our children and will do whatever the hell we can to keep them seen and secure and safe.
She argued that waiting until Zaya was older would allow for more personal decision-making before any legal changes were finalized. As part of the court documents, she also claimed that opportunities connected to public visibility and media attention had been discussed. The filing included the statement, "He informed me that a lot of money had been already made and that additional money will be made in relation to our child's name and gender issue. Wade told me that he intended to make our child very famous due to the name and gender issue, and also informed me that there would be endorsements or contracts associated therewith." The dispute quickly became a major talking point because of Dwyane Wade's high public profile. Over the years, discussions about Zaya's journey have appeared in television interviews, news coverage, and online conversations, placing the family's personal decisions under an intense spotlight and drawing strong opinions from all sides. Zaya's biological mother said her primary concern was the level of public attention surrounding such personal matters at a young age. She expressed worries about the effects of constant media coverage, online criticism, comments taken out of context, and the intense spotlight that can come with being connected to a high-profile family. Those concerns resonated with many people online, and the topic quickly became the center of heated debate. Supporters of her position argued that major life decisions should be approached carefully, and that more time might have allowed for additional reflection. Others strongly disagreed and believed the family was acting in what they felt was Zaya's best interest. As a result, the situation turned into a highly public disagreement, with both sides receiving support from different groups of people. Dwyane Wade publicly responded to the allegations and rejected the claims being made against him. In an Instagram statement, he criticized what he viewed as an unfair portrayal of the situation and defended his family's actions. He wrote, "While none of us are surprised by Savon's attempt to fight my child's identity and her unwavering attempt to drag my name through the mud, I'm very disappointed that she continuously finds ways of centering herself and her needs without regard to her children." The exchange only brought even more public attention to an already controversial situation. Dwyane Wade's response to the situation didn't stop with that statement. He also wrote, "Savon has decided to pretty much be an absent parent to Zaya all on her own. I will not sit on my hands this time and allow her to make a mockery of my dedication to my family. The high road has run out of real estate." The strong wording immediately caught attention and sparked even more debate online. Some people felt his response was justified, while others argued it was unnecessarily harsh, given that the disagreement centered on concerns about timing and parental involvement. Many observers pointed out that the dispute wasn't just about differing opinions, it was also about who should have a voice in such important family decisions. Critics argued that Savon's concerns should have been given more consideration, while supporters of Dwyane and Gabrielle believed they were doing what they felt was best based on their understanding of the situation. The back and forth became a major public conversation and drew intense reactions from all sides.
A mom who wants her children to have a fair chance at making their own decisions, while you and your I want to be a husband convince your child that they need to get the whole trans thing going on now so they can get a Disney contract. And we all know what Disney does to children. Imagine what they do to trans kids.
As the years went on, Zaya became involved in several high-profile opportunities, including fashion campaigns, brand partnerships, and runway appearances with major companies such as Miu Miu, Tiffany & Co., and Prada. These projects increased her visibility and made her a recognizable public figure. Because of that success, some critics questioned whether publicity played a role in how the family's story was presented, while supporters argued that these opportunities simply emerged as a result of her growing profile and influence. The debate continues, with different people reaching very different conclusions about the situation. Before publicly identifying as transgender, Zaya had previously been described as identifying as gay. Later, at her request, Dwyane Wade filed a petition in Los Angeles County Superior Court seeking a legal name change. Over the years, Dwyane has shared his perspective on Zaya's journey and has stated that she expressed feelings about her identity from a very young age. That claim has sparked a lot of discussion online. Some people believe that young children can express thoughts and feelings about who they are early in life, while others question how much a child can fully understand at such a young age. As a result, the topic has become one of the most debated aspects of the family's public story. Critics have pointed to Dwyane's comments as a reason for their skepticism, arguing that young children are still learning about the world and developing their understanding of themselves. Supporters, however, say that parents often notice patterns and preferences in their children long before they are able to fully explain them. Because of these different viewpoints, people continue to debate whether early childhood experiences should be interpreted as meaningful indicators of identity or simply part of normal childhood development. Over the years, Dwyane Wade has been the subject of countless rumors and online theories, with critics often trying to connect his personal style, public comments, and family decisions into larger narratives. However, much of this discussion has been based on speculation rather than verified facts, and it has continued to generate strong reactions across social media. One moment that attracted attention came during a 2021 interview with I Am Athlete, where Dwyane spoke about experiences from his childhood, including trying on items that belonged to family members. While some people viewed those comments as completely ordinary childhood behavior, others used them to push their own interpretations online. The interview quickly became another topic of debate among fans and commentators. Dwyane has also drawn attention for fashion choices, photos, and social media posts that stood out to the public. Images showing unique accessories, tattoos, or personal style choices sparked discussion and fueled online chatter. As often happens with high-profile celebrities, ordinary posts were sometimes turned into viral talking points, leading to waves of speculation that spread far beyond the original content. Despite all the rumors, many of the claims circulating online remain unconfirmed and should be treated as speculation rather than established fact.
She was the one who sat down with us as a family and said, hey, I don't think I'm gay. I identify myself as a young lady, but she's known that for 9 years.
She's known since she was 3.
She's known since she was 3 years old. This is her life. This is no game to us. We're about protecting her heart. We're about protecting her joy. To do that, we have to support. We see the smile on our daughter's face. We see the confidence that she's able to walk around and be herself.
By the way, a number of public figures and commentators have made controversial remarks about Dwyane Wade over the years. One of the most talked about examples came when Boosie publicly criticized Dwyane and Gabrielle Union during an online exchange. His comments quickly spread across social media and sparked heated reactions from both supporters and critics. The remarks generated headlines, but they reflected his personal opinions rather than verified facts. There have also been other personalities, including Jaguar Wright, who have made various claims and accusations involving Dwyane and Gabrielle. Many of these statements gained attention online because of the celebrities involved, but they have remained the subject of debate and controversy rather than confirmed evidence. For critics, these public disputes and ongoing rumors have been used to support broader theories about the family's public image and media strategy. Supporters, however, argue that speculation and celebrity gossip should not be treated as proof. As a result, the conversation continues to divide opinion, with different people interpreting the same events in very different ways. And that's where the conversation starts getting even messier. The bigger Zaya's public profile became, the more people began questioning where personal life ends and public branding begins. Every interview, magazine feature, fashion appearance, and social media post seemed to trigger another round of debate online. Some observers argue that the family's openness has helped bring visibility to topics that many people rarely discuss in public. Others believe that constant media attention can create enormous pressure, especially when millions of strangers feel entitled to weigh in on deeply personal matters. That split in opinion has followed the family for years and shows no signs of slowing down. What makes the situation even more complicated is that nearly every public appearance gets analyzed frame by frame. Supporters see confidence, success, and self-expression, while critics see a carefully managed public image. The same event can produce completely different reactions depending on who's watching. At the center of it all is a family whose personal decisions have become a non-stop topic of discussion, speculation, and headlines, with every new development generating another wave of conversation across social media and entertainment news platforms. As those debates continued to spread online, another topic started gaining attention. Some critics began questioning whether the family's media presence was helping calm the controversy or unintentionally keeping it alive. Every time a new interview dropped or a major publication featured the family, the conversation seemed to start from the beginning, bringing fresh opinions from both supporters and skeptics. Supporters argue that public figures often have no choice but to address ongoing criticism, especially when their names are constantly trending. From that perspective, speaking openly is simply a way of correcting misinformation and sharing their side of the story. But critics see things differently and claim that frequent media appearances can sometimes amplify the attention rather than reduce it.
On heels, I used to do all those things. I try to put on whatever my sisters wear, what my sisters did, I try to do those things. So at first I said to myself, oh no, I did that. So I ain't just doing the things that I did. And then they kept going further and further, and then me and my wife had to look at each other.
Meanwhile, entertainment commentators have pointed out how unusual the situation has become. What started as a family matter eventually turned into a national discussion involving celebrities, influencers, news outlets, and millions of social media users. Few public figures have faced this level of scrutiny over such personal topics, which helps explain why every statement, appearance, and headline continues to attract so much attention even years later. And while the public debate kept growing, another interesting pattern started to emerge. The more attention the story received, the more people began digging through old interviews, past comments, and previous media appearances looking for clues that could support their own opinions. Suddenly, moments that barely made headlines years ago were being revisited and analyzed all over again. Some commentators pointed out that this is something that often happens when celebrities become a part of a larger cultural conversation. Every statement gets re-examined, every photo gets dissected, and every public appearance becomes another piece of a puzzle that different groups interpret in completely different ways. What one person sees as authenticity, another sees as image management. At the same time, supporters of the family argue that much of the discussion has been driven by assumptions rather than direct evidence. They believe many online theories have grown far beyond the facts that are publicly available. Critics, however, maintain that public figures naturally invite scrutiny when they choose to share major parts of their personal lives with a wide audience. Because of that divide, the story continues to generate headlines, reaction videos, and endless social media debates, with both sides convinced that the public is missing a key part of the bigger picture. What really keeps this story in the spotlight, though, is how differently people interpret the same set of events. One group sees a family navigating highly personal decisions under an intense public microscope, while another sees a carefully crafted public narrative that has evolved alongside major media opportunities. Those competing viewpoints have fueled years of discussion and show no signs of fading anytime soon. Industry watchers have also noted how rare it is for a celebrity family's personal journey to become such a long-running topic across entertainment news, social media, podcasts, and commentary channels. Even when there are no major developments, older clips, interviews, and headlines often resurface and spark brand new debates. That's part of what has kept the conversation active for so long. At the center of all this is a bigger question that many people continue to ask. Where is the line between sharing personal experiences and becoming a public symbol? For some, that distinction is clear. For others, it's much harder to separate the individual from the public image that develops around them. And as long as those questions remain unanswered, the discussion is likely to continue generating strong reactions from every corner of the internet. And that's exactly why every new interview or public appearance seems to attract such intense attention. By this point, the discussion has grown far beyond any single headline and has become a larger debate about celebrity culture, media influence, and the challenges that come with living so much of your life in public view. Every statement is examined, every reaction is amplified, and every development quickly becomes a trending topic. Some entertainment commentators believe the constant spotlight has created a situation where almost anything connected to the family can spark a fresh round of speculation. A magazine feature, a red carpet appearance, or even a brief social media post can lead to thousands of comments from people who already have strong opinions about the story. In today's online world, narratives can take on a life of their own and continue spreading long after the original event has passed. Meanwhile, others argue that the ongoing fascination says just as much about the public as it does about the family itself. People are naturally drawn to stories involving fame, influence, and controversy, especially when different sides are presenting completely different versions of what they believe is really happening. That's one reason the conversation continues to generate so much engagement across platforms year after year. As the conversation kept evolving, another layer started getting more attention from observers. Some media analysts began focusing less on the headlines themselves and more on how the public reacts to them. They pointed out that in the age of social media, a story story doesn't just live in interviews or news articles anymore. It gets reshaped by millions of comments, reactions, and viral clips circulating online every day. That's part of what has made this situation so difficult to pin down. One short quote can be interpreted in completely different ways depending on who's sharing it and what audience is seeing it. Supporters may view a statement as sincere and straightforward, while critics may see something entirely different. The result is a cycle where the same moments are constantly being revisited and debated from new angles. At the same time, public interest has remained unusually high because the story touches on several topics that tend to generate strong opinions. When celebrity status, family dynamics, media attention, and personal identity all become part of the same conversation, it's almost guaranteed to keep people talking. And with so many competing viewpoints still circulating, the discussion continues to take on new twists every time another headline appears. What has surprised many observers is how the discussion has managed to stay relevant for so long. Most celebrity controversies fade after a few news cycles, but this one has continued to generate reactions year after year. Every time people think the conversation has finally cooled down, a new interview, social media post, or resurfaced clip sends it right back into the spotlight. Part of the reason is that there are still so many unanswered questions in the eyes of the public. Supporters believe the family's actions have been consistently misunderstood and unfairly criticized, while skeptics argue that there are aspects of the story that have never been fully explained to their satisfaction. Because neither side appears willing to back down, the debate keeps finding new audiences online.
I guess now because they're getting older, I guess it just moved over to the Wade house.
Energy transfers. And
I'm not saying that because of their trans daughter. I'm saying that because of the artist that I just spoke to not that long ago that got invited to a party at their house. Everything was cool up front till they went to the back and there was a bunch of old and young boys back there all naked in the Wade house. So I find it funny that Gabrielle's sitting there talking about Boosie. Maybe you suspicious of him because of the that's happening in your house. Out of here.
Another factor is the speed of modern media. A single comment from a podcast, a news article, or an old television appearance can spread across multiple platforms within hours. Once that happens, thousands of people jump into the conversation, adding their own theories, opinions, and interpretations. The result is a story that constantly reinvents itself, with each wave of discussion creating fresh headlines and keeping public interest alive far longer than most celebrity news stories ever managed to do. And the longer the conversation continues, the more it seems to evolve beyond the family at the center of it. What began as a discussion about specific public statements and personal decisions has gradually turned into a much broader debate about fame, privacy, and the responsibilities that come with being a high-profile public figure. That's one reason the story keeps attracting attention from people who may not have followed it from the beginning. Some commentators have noted that celebrity families today operate in a completely different environment than they did years ago. Every appearance can be clipped, reposted, and discussed by millions of people within minutes. That level of visibility creates opportunities, but it also brings constant scrutiny. Even small moments can become major talking points once they start spreading across social media. Meanwhile, the public remains deeply divided in how it views the situation. Supporters see a family navigating extraordinary attention while trying to live their lives in the public eye. Critics continue to question certain decisions and media strategies. With those opposing perspectives still firmly in place, every new headline adds another chapter to an already long-running discussion, ensuring that the debate remains active across entertainment news, podcasts, and online communities alike. When you look at everything that's been discussed, it's easy to see why this story continues to generate so much attention. Between the public legal disputes, Zaya's growing presence in the fashion world, and the years of online speculation surrounding the family, people have developed very different interpretations of what they believe is really happening. Some critics argue that publicity and media exposure have played a major role in shaping the family's public narrative, while supporters insist that many of these claims are built on assumptions rather than facts. Another question that continues to surface is whether living such a visible public life comes with pressures that most people could never imagine. Some observers believe that constant media attention, major brand partnerships, and public scrutiny can be overwhelming for anyone. Others argue that there is no evidence showing that Zaya is unhappy with the path she has taken. At this point, much of the conversation remains speculation, with different people drawing very different conclusions from the same events. Of course, there have been no public statements of verified evidence suggesting that Zaya regrets her decisions. Still, that hasn't stopped the debates, theories, and discussions from continuing across social media and entertainment news platforms. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about the entire situation? Do you believe the public has misunderstood the family, or do you think some of the criticism raises valid questions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss future updates and discussions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.